Welcome back. This is the next part of the DIY mini house Santorini Sun Coffee model AW02-002. We've built quite a bit. We've installed some lights. We've done some very sketchy things with wires. Hopefully the building inspector is in a generous mood, but it does light up. And we're now, it seems like we're building a lot of the external bits since the inside is done. I do notice on the model, move this over there, so an awful lot of holes to fill. So we're, I think at this point, building things to put in those holes. We've got this very large planter and this small stepwise rack of planters, which was the one of the more difficult things to assemble so far. Setting aside the pain and torment of the wiring there that we will continue to never look at. Anyhow, we are on step 66 and we've got some chairs to build. In fact, we've got 2 chairs to build. We need 2 of A1. They are right up here. Be careful taking these out. Try to only push on the sides or the larger pieces, using quite a bit of caution for the legs. And we do need 2 of A1. So I'll go ahead and pop both of these out. There's our A1s. I should do this smarter. Hold on. Slightly smarter. Not a lot smarter. A lot smarter is not really my thing. But these will be much more visible there. Then I need 2 A8s. Here's one A8. Be careful. It's got a very small tab at what is presumably the rear of the seat. And there's the other A8. So one was sort of bottom right and the other was middle left. And then I also need 2 of A9, which is another fairly intricate piece. Where's the other one? There's one here and one here. They're both sort of in the middle. Oh, that was a terrifying sound, but it up here is fine. We tear the carbon bonds and the pieces come out. Okay, so looks like this pin goes into the slot in the back of the seat. Oh, that went in so nicely. And then the front legs, the pin on those goes in the slot on the top of the seat. And you might notice I pushed there. I should not have. Try to only push here where it's right up against the pin, and there we go. That is one chair complete. It would be nice if they both went that smoothly. However, this is not my first model. Okay, well that went well. It's this part that worries me, because if it needs a lot of pressure, it's very difficult to get it. So sort of, yeah, and it wants a lot of pressure. I've wriggled that in a bit, and now using my nail to push down on it. Not the very best. What I can do, though, is run pressure through the legs. Not a lot. I'd be very cautious here, and there we go. It didn't really do a lot there. But you can, through a piece of wood like that, vertically, you can actually put a great deal of force, but these are still relatively small. The risk there is that the piece snaps or folds under. But that did not happen, so we are happy. Okay, moving on to the umbrella, which starts with B33 and then a bunch of pieces from A. So we'll go to B33 first. B33 is right here. It is on the left-hand side, more or less near the center. Set that there. Now we'll go after all these parts on A. I do see that some of them are over here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. I don't know if I need to keep track of which is which, but I'm going to anyway. Oh, and these are going to be fun to take out because they're very thin. Teensy things. Making, I don't know if the microphone picked that up. It made almost a tearing noise before it popped. So I'm going to, just for fun, keep them in order-ish. There's a 3. I'm working where I cannot be seen. There's a 4. And that is it for that. Now I have a 17, 18, 19, and 20, which are all here on this last piece. And ooh, they will be the end of this. So it can go in the discard pile. So there's 17. It seems to be that pushing on this larger part here is helping to get them out. There's 18. 19. And a 20. There we go. No tearing noises that time. I'll set this here, set that there, and put that in the discard pile. And we will start to build this. Okay, so I've got this thingy. It's a technical term. And just sort of looking at the picture, it's oriented this way. There are two outer holes that line up with the central hole. And it looks like we want A4 to go in that on the back side of it. Again, not sure if that's significant, but... And then everything else just flows from there. So this is a 17, a 18. A 17 definitely is not firm. A 19 is going across from the first one we put in. A 20. And finally, whatever this one's called. I'm also just looking at this, trying to figure, oh, these are stickers. Oh boy. My nemesis. Okay, anyhow, this is a 3 going in. So there we go. Those are in. That step is complete. Now, move things around here a little bit. Step 68. We've got all these stripy bits. Looks like we're putting 3 on in 68 and 3 on in 69. They are all the same. They're all called P2. All right, I'm just gonna go for it. See what happens. I have no idea what's the best way to do this. Okay, they want to go all the way to the edge. So that's where I will start them. Oh, and they're going to overlap like crazy, which is fine. Hold that in place. Oh, it's stuck to my finger very nicely. If you've watched my other videos, you know that adhesive loves my fingers. I don't know why. What I'm going to do is sort of line that one edge up and pick that side to be the side that overlaps. It's got to be one side or the other. And I'm going to go completely wild and go straight to step 69. I'm going to pull that out. Nice. Okay. Sure. To put this on here. It's very difficult to gauge how much overlap is actually needed. And I want to keep the edge correct-ish. Boy, they do not give a lot of guidance for this. Alright, I'll just figure it out. Actually more centered that one than did an overlap. I think that would have been smarter from the beginning. That's the learning. We're doing the learning. I say I'm learning and then I pick it up by the part that falls out. Okay, it's back on there. And in fact, I'm going to pick on that one. Since it wants to fall out, I think it'll be helped if it's got a little awning piece on it. It's interesting, though, that sort of going to leave this with the sticky side down, because that will pick up dust later. Oh, I think that's working. All right, we've blown right through 68, right into 69. Oh, good, and then there's a piece that goes on at the end that covers a lot of the terrible things that I'm doing to it. So that's nice. Okay, 2 to go. Oh, I want that like that. I wanted it more like that. There we are. Ah! I'm looking forward to putting this sticker on the top to cover up the weirdness. There we go. Last one's going on. Any further weirdness is permanent. Permanently weird. That's a good name. Good name for a song. Okay. Step 70 needs B11 and B29. And then P1. I'm going to jump right to P1, which is on the sticker. Oh, and it's got cuts in it. There's room for some overlap. Oh, and a hole in the middle. This is by far the fanciest sticker we have dealt with. So I'm going to pull up on the side of it and try to get some sort of an alignment going. I don't know what I did, but there, it's on. Okay, let's find B11 and B29 and hope that great things are about to happen. Here's B11. Ooh, it just feels unusually fragile, I think just because it's a long, thin piece. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. The poker. Pokey tool. So there's B11, and now we want to look for B29. It is right here. So B11 was top center. B29 is more or less in the middle. The middle-ish area. Okay, these two go together with the pin protruding from the bottom. I'm hoping for a snug fit here. And did I get my hopes? Yes. That did fit snugly. Pick up the awning part and the top goes in the middle hole. Being careful because there's not a lot of access to it. Push that all the way through and there we go. You know, I don't think that turned out half bad. No, it turned out all the way bad. But I like it. And that's all that matters. Step 70 is now complete. Moving on. Step 71. A bunch of pieces from H. What the H? All of the pieces left from H. 4, 5, 6, 5, and 4. 4, 4, 5, 5, 6. And now I'm trying to remember which side the... Oh, the plastic's on the back side. There's H4. There's H4. Nice thing is they look different. Again, I'm not doing a good job managing the visual space. Over here, H4. Remember, we still have to peel the plastic off, although I'm not sure why. These aren't clear. There's an H5. Another H5. What the heck is this thing? And an H6. And that actually gets rid of everything that was on this little piece. It goes in the discard pile. Now we'll have to figure out how to get the plastic off these. I really need to. Where does this guy go? So I'm looking over to see why it's important that we take, whether it's important that we take the plastic off. You know, I'm going to see how we do without it. So this is an H4. And the pins go to the bottom. This is an H5. Pin goes to the bottom. It goes like that. And this isn't going to snap together at all. Maybe that's why you need to remove the film before assembly. trying to think of anything that would make it worse. You know, it could be, let me see how H6 interacts here. Boy, this just is not. I'm just sort of trying to figure out where this thing ends up, and is it important? Because, oh, you know what? I bet it goes over the light. Yes, it does. It's a little box that goes over the light. Wow, that is wild. Okay. Not super concerned actually about the film, although it might not fit together. What I am concerned about is the fact that it's very loose. It's not, they're not interlocking well. So with some of the other parts from H, it was, you know, the box we formed at first was wasn't terribly stable, but as we added pieces to it, it became more so. That is not happening here. So what I'm considering is the B7000. But it doesn't say to use it, so I'm hesitating. Should stop hesitating and just use it. Worst case, I destroy it. Or run out of this maybe not so great glue. Sorry, paste. Does seem to be quite a bit left actually. Whoop. See if this helps. This might just make it so much worse, who knows? Yeah, I'm not sure that that's helping. Or bonding. Give it a moment here. Yeah, it's not even sticking to that. So whatever material this is, the glue does not like. I'm going to hold this here a moment and see what happens. Yeah, it's not even. It has no interest in whatever type of plastic this is. Oh, wait, no, I had to be patient and let it get tacky. That might sound familiar. Okay, so then this piece will go on the side. I'm gonna just put a little bit of glue on the top here. To help it. I don't even know if the way I'm building this is possible, but it's what I'm doing. I guess it is because I've got so much give, and then that just flipped it right off. Okay. I feel like we've got some structure to it now as the glue slowly spreads over my hands. I'm going to hold this a moment. Let's say I'm going to hold it a moment, immediately put it down, drop it, you know, do all the terrible things that I can think of to it. This piece would go on next. I think the glue is the pro move here. Giving it a moment to set up before pressing it in. And these go in so loosely. There. And then finally this piece. And I've only glued them at that top pin. Remains to be seen whether that was a really smart move or a really stupid move. We will find out together. I'm just going to sort of hinge that in. And then bring everything together. And there. Okay, I'm going to set that there, upside down, and let the glue do its thing. So I do have to say the glue there came in handy. I am sorry, B7000, for all the terrible things I thought about you. Moving on, though. Step 72 needs some parts from B. B41. Ah, there's B41, sort of near the center. A little left and low of center. Get the pushy thing. Pop it out. B67. Ooh, it's here. It's a very intricate piece, so do use caution popping it out. Try to push only on the larger bits, and don't get impatient and force it. There we go. And finally, B46, which is down here. Oh, so B67 was right-hand side bottom, B46 is left-hand side bottom, near one of the cats. It's funny that 2 kits in a row had cats. Okay, so B41 is going to go... so the larger part is what B46 interacts with. Notice I switched things up there. Started on B41, changed my mind, went to 46. There's that. And then we'll put 41 in the top. And it looks like in the next step, we're going to be adding a little bit more to this. I'm trying to get this down in. And there we go. Got a little part of a table sticking to my fingers. B12 is next. It's the top of the table. As we begin step 73, top of the table goes into these 2 centered holes. We will slide that in there and then in there and hope for the best. Again, caution here where you put force, because the frame of the table is not terribly strong. So pinching is good here. And there we go. We have completed step 73. And for step 74, we're going to get some cute things to put on top of the table. So we want A5, A39, and B47. Since I have B in my hand, B47. E47 is down here. It's got a couple intricate cuts in it, so do be careful taking it out. There's B47. And we'll switch to A. And grab A5 and A39. So A39 is here, bottom, mid-bottom right. Put that there. And then A5 is the coffee cup here at the top. Top left. Okay, let's put these on. Oriented this way, we've got a middle, a left, and a right. The coffee cup goes on the left. Perfectly straight. Okay. Large potted plant, B47, goes in the middle pin, or sorry, middle slot. And then the treat, looks like a croissant. 3 croissants, my goodness. Goes here on the right-hand side. And that table is now complete. And we'll set that up there with the rest. See how this guy's doing. Oh, he's doing great things here. Didn't have to peel the plastic off, and did not need to, and using the glue does seem to have been a good move. I move my thing up just a tiny bit there. Okay, so step 75 needs a bunch of pieces from A. Well, 1 piece from A and a bunch from B. So we'll find the piece from A, A12, which is here more or less top middle. Fragile piece, be careful. A12. And then from B, we've got a whole bunch of pieces. Let's see, we'll go with 49. It's the lowest. B49, bottom middle. Oh, and we also want B52, which is right next to it. And they do appear to be identical. So that's good. They're painted on both sides, so they are identical. Okay, so that was 49 and 52. Oh, I missed 30. I said 49 was the lowest. I lied. B30 is here more or less in the center. Pop that out. Okay, on there. Oh, yeah. Move these over here. Now I want B69 and B71, which are some of the decorations. Here's B69 in the bottom right, and B71 is right next to it in the bottom right. There we go. Okay, let's assemble this thing. I do note that B71 has a much larger tab on it than B69. So just something to be aware of as you assemble. I'm trying to decide what is the best order. I think I'm going to put the plants in first. Seems like normally you'd build the planter and then put plants in it, but in this case we're going to do it a little differently. So there's B69 has gone in. B71 with the larger tab is in. We'll put these side bits on, and it looks like the notch goes down on these and locks with the pin on the side of B30. So let's see if we can pull that off, and we can. Same thing over here, which will leave us with some pins that interlock with the notches on the side of A12, the little, I'll call it a ventilated piece. Be very careful where you press A12. I would stay near the edge, not pressing on this central part, just because it doesn't seem like that's going to be terribly, terribly strong. And there we go. We have built the planter of step 75. Step 76 uses a piece that is covered by the model. There it is. So this is E6, which early in the process had fallen off. So we've got it now. Is this E6? Yes, it is. That way. Matches up. Put a sticker or something on it. It's got a starfish and a nautilus. Okay, and so we've got two pieces, A2 and A22, that are going to be glued on. Let's pull those first. So A2 is bottom left. Back to that whole left and right thing. Does not want to come with us. Says, no, I don't want to be glued. And A22 is here, the little nautilus. Excellent. I will once again, though, scuff up the surface when these are painted on both sides. So be sure to match up the orientation of the nautilus. And just a little scuff, just enough for the paint to have something to grip. Instructions didn't mention anything about that, but I'm thinking it's probably not the worst idea. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and not glue those just yet. I want to put the planter on. So this is the planter from step 75 that we put together. Up there. And that's got these two tabs here on the back of it that are going to go into these two slots on E6. There we go. They are on, and now we will glue. I do the glue second because I'm very good at bumping things that have not yet set, and that often causes them to move. Boy, I'm losing my pen. I'll set that there and give it a bit of a squeeze. And same for the nautilus. Set it on and press it in. Remove this excess glue. I say that, and then it doesn't go anywhere. And there we are. Step 76 is now complete. Set that aside and let the glue cure. Okay, step 77. We seem to be getting to some major assembly. I'll move that over there and bring the model in. Isn't it fabulous? Okay, so it looks like we want the big planter to go back here. Move things around a bit. So on this side, I'm sure there's a good view of it. There's these two holes and these two slots here that these 4 pins are going to go be friends with. Hopefully. Hopefully they don't fight. Ah, there we go. Okay, and that is in. Next is the stepped planter. There are 4 pins in the bottom of this. There are 4 slots here. Holes, slots, thingies. Be careful putting this in where you're putting your pressure through. As if you'll recall, it's not the sturdiest part that we have built on this project. Let's say that and then put my finger through it or something. There we go. That is in. And you can see the whole shelf shifted there. Okay, that's complete. Step 77 is complete. Step 78, we're going to take the umbrella, which I'm guessing is going to go there, and then these 2 chairs, which are going to go next to the umbrella. And I'm pretty sure I want to put the chairs on first. So there's these sets of 4 holes. Those correspond to the 4 legs of the chairs. And hopefully they will just go in and be nice. Because they are spindly little things. And I do not wish to damage them. So the pressure I'm putting, I'm trying to limit the pressure to the side of it, like that. Put this on. See how this goes. I'll put the back on first, actually. I just did that to sort of line everything up and then give it a little push, and it is in. And now we've got this. This has 3 pins corresponding to those 3 holes there. No great place to put pressure on it, and it is of course hitting everything. Nothing wants to line up. Perfect. Maybe we don't need an umbrella. We need an umbrella. Need to fold that in or anything? I'll give that a little fold on the side just to try to keep it out of trouble. Make sure I'm lined up there. Oh yeah, the other problem with this is that the piece it's going into is not well supported there on the bottom, but it is in. Get this and see if I can put a little bit of pressure on it. Try not to break anything though. I can push from the top, but this is no, I wouldn't do that. Don't push from the top because that's a very spindly piece. That is in. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere. It's definitely not in as far as I would like for it to be, but the way it's shaped makes it extremely difficult to put pressure on. So my thought for that would be to remove a little bit of material. Oh, you couldn't see anything I was doing there. Sorry about that. There it is. It is more or less in. I can show? Yeah. It's in. Here. Okay. So that's there, and now we've got lots of other things we're going to put on here, including this thing, which goes over the light, and that just set in there. Let's take a quick look at it. Aha! Look at that. A glowing light. That's cute. Okay, so that's there. Still not very happy with that umbrella. But what can you do? And now there's a bunch of things in the picture. Let it up here. And there's the other table is going to go out in the front. And then the small potted one of the small potted plants is going to go over here. Okay, so it's not that many things. That will require glue. However, the table will not require glue. The table, there are 2 holes here. That is where the table is going to go. It's got 2 pins. Set this back down and put it in and then show it when it's done. What an odd arrangement, though. You'd be very far from the table. You would have to move the chairs, but there we go. Let's turn the light on. I like that. And there we go. Turn the light back off. Okay, and then we've got the, it's funny, it says small potted plants. Well, there's only 1 small potted plant. The kit came with 1 small, 2 mediums, and 1 large. And so it looks like this is just going to get glued here on the corner with the awning in the way. So that this one up here, going to scuff that up. This is plastic, so the glue should work very well here. And we will move on to the next step. Ooh, be careful with that. That did cause some cosmetic damage to the surface. There we go. Got a spot of glue on there that I then smeared all over the place, because of course I did. And then we'll put this on. Put some pressure on it, give it a moment to the glue to dissolve the plastic a bit. There we go. I assume that's what happens, or bond to it. And so there. Oh yes. We of course want the light. We've got it. Okay, excellent. That worked out well. Just trying to rearrange things a bit. Okay, we've got a small potted plant. We got the table. We got the little light cover, which actually turned out really good. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, right back to it. We've got the wall. Where's the wall go? Wall goes on the back. There's tabs here, slots here. Let's take a look at the back end of this. Yes, so we've got these 3 tabs, and these 2 slots are all going to get together. They're not going to have any trouble at all. They're all going to be well behaved and go right in, and the door will open. That's fine. Okay, that was good. That actually worked. I'm trying to line up the far slot first. It's not going well though. Ah, goodness. And this is even better because I'm going to knock the plant off. I forgot I just put that on. So let me do this. I'm going to set this back down and try to apply pressure from the rear here. I'm also trying to do is visualize how it's failed to line up. It's actually a little high. There we go. Oh, come on. Sitting here trying to remember how strong that piece is. I think that actually went on there pretty good. Let's take a look at the back. Yeah, well, the middle one's in-ish. And that one's in. And I knocked the plant off. Get back on there. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we're going to call that decent. Because I don't want to break the thing. There we go. Okay. All popped in. Okay, that is now complete. We can see everything. We'll turn the light on and we'll flip this up so you can see that that's formed that neat little nook over there. Now we will set this aside, turning off the light, and move on to the next step, which is to build what appears to be a fountain. All right, hold on, my table has moved quite a bit. Sort of line that back up. And we shall continue. Something complicated is going on over here, but we're not there yet. We're here. That's a few steps away. We'll not worry about that just yet. Okay, we need B7 and E5 to start with. So B7. Oh, that's right. B likes to do things way out of order. B7. Aha! Bottom right, more or less. Be careful as it's got these prongs on it. B7 and then E5. It was actually much smaller than I expected. E5 is sort of in the middle rightish area of E. It is visually distinct from the piece we just took off. It's got a little bit more step work in it. Ah, come out, be friendly. Oh boy, this is stuck. Got bound up. There we are. Leave that there. Okay, B7 goes into E5. And just like that, step 81 is complete. Set that down like that. Okay, so I can need A21, A6, and B51. Okay, A21. Well, there's A6. A6 is top left. Take that out. A21. There's 26. You would think 21 would be easy to find. 33, 35, 26. I mean, 26 really looks a lot like the right part. Checking to make sure it's not simply around that. Whoa. It was on the part I put in the discard pile. I missed it. Here it is. A21 is this ring, so do take that off carefully. These are all out now. Off you go. That's going to go there. Not real sure how that stays on. Ah, looks like this tape, or not tape, but sticker later is going to help with that. Okay, now we need B51. With some rocks. B51 is here, bottom middle. Is that 51? Yes, 51. As opposed to some other bit with rocks in the middle. Okay, so B51 goes on first. Doesn't look like orientation is necessarily important. Put that all the way in. So that is a sort of double-stepped end on that, so be sure you press it all the way down. Then we'll go ahead and get A21 on. Again, pushing all the way down. And then we will set, sorry, that was A6. We will set A21 here as it awaits the application of decals from P3. So we'll pull P3 now. P3 is the long one here, and so it will be used to help hold A21 on. So this can only go perfectly. Okay, not too bad actually. If I just am patient and go slowly, this will be fine. There we go. Will it reach? And there we are. Okay, so now not only is step 83 complete, piece A21 is securely bonded to the rest of the fountain, and that does look really cool, the rocks there. Okay, we've got some other complicated things are about to go on that aren't necessarily that. Oh, these must be other parts of that fountain. Okay. So this says, so we've got A26 and A33. Let's get those first. So here's A33, which was bottom left. And then A26 is more or less next to it, bottom middle. Using some caution, probably not as much as I should have. And then we want P4. And it says to pay attention to the gluing position. Not sure what that means. Overlap parts A26 and A33. So they are overlapped. And then we glue them on with P4, paying attention to the gluing position. I'm not going to pay any attention to the gluing position whatsoever. So I don't know what that means. We'll find out later in some spectacular and hilarious way. I think it really means just make sure that they're lined up. And so there we go. We've started to put the decal on as I pay attention to the gluing position. And just go slowly around, doing my best to stay aligned. Okay, there we go. Step 84 is complete. We have overlapped parts A26 and A33, and we glued them together with P4 while we simultaneously paid attention to the gluing position. For step 85, this goes on this. Now we have a 2-tier fountain. How cool is that? Oh my goodness, are we going to build a 3-tiered fountain? We are. Look at that. I'll flip that over there. Set that there. We'll get some other parts here. So we want A35 and B8. A35 is here, bottom left. B8 is somewhere round. What's B8 look like? Oh, it's a big watery piece. What the heck is it? Should pop. Oh, here it is. Bottom middle for B8. Figure that one out. All right, come on. There we go. Don't be shy. Come on out. It's your turn. And we'll need some of the decals. So it looks like we are going to use P5, which is one of the remaining decals to do the to bond these together, and then 2 strips of P7 will be used to simulate flowing water. So first I'll put it together with P5. Whoops. I throw the fountain around. It is in fact a 4-tiered fountain. My goodness. We are out of control with the fountain. Okay, that did not line up as nicely as the others, but it's now how it's supposed to be. In fact, I think I'm going to put all of these together and then add the dripping water. I just think that makes more sense. And I, of course, paid attention to the gluing position. We will set this on here now. We'll go right to step 87, even though I didn't put the flowing water on. We will get to that shortly. And there is a little place where that sort of snaps. It's a clear stop that you can't push it down any further. Okay, so remembering we need to go back and take care of P7, we'll go ahead and move on to step 88 to complete the fountain, getting B50 and B72 to do so. So B50 is here in the bottom middle. Very tiny ring. Be careful pushing it out. And B72 is bottom right. Again, another very small piece. Oh, using stickers as tape. What an interesting idea. Okay, so this is going to start to sound very familiar. This ring goes on top of that circle. And P6 is used to glue them together, paying attention, of course, to the gluing position. Okay. Not even sure what paying attention to the gluing position is, but I'm doing it. I'm trying to do it. I do, in all seriousness, think it means just to keep them aligned. Don't let the ring shift with respect to the disc while assembling. And then I'm going to go ahead and pop this right on now. It just has a slot, so it goes on this taller part, and does have some... There we go. It is together. So now we'll add the waterfalls. Trying to see where the edge of the thing is. There we go. So they're going to more or less just drape down off of the sides like that. Oh, that's kind of cool. Pop this up here. Make sure it's visible. And we're doing this 3 more times. 2 on this bottom tier and then 2 on the top tier. The one thing is it doesn't really seem to want to stick to the printed wood. So do exercise some caution there. And I want the pliers because I don't want it to overlap past the water. There we go. I think that's fine. And now we'll repeat this for the top tier to the middle tier. Middle? It's actually really neat. I really like this. And they just sort of have it coming down here. We'll just do that. Try not to worry about the physics too much. This is, after all, the Santorini Sun coffee, not a fluid dynamics simulation. This is, however, the end of paper 1. Need a little bell or something to ring anytime we finish a part like that. That would be fun. Put that on my wish list. A bell. Probably have something somewhere for that. Okay, so that's it. That takes us through step 89. The fountain is complete. Well, not a whole lot left. So we shall continue. Okay, step 90. We are back to B. Oh, and we're going to take the last piece off of G. And also there's glue involved. Because of course there is. So I need B61. B61 is here, middle right. It's a very thin piece. I really like these frames. B61 goes there and disappears, so I'll set it there. B22 should be about that. Says, oh, it's right here above B61. Again, still middle right. And then G22. Which is the very last piece on G. Pop this out with the blunt end of the tweezers. And if I can get that unbound, there we go. And that is it for G. Off to the discard pile. Ding! Okay. There's glue involved here. So this frame needs to get glued to the picture. It says on here, "Shall I make some coffee for you?" How lovely. Oh, and this is some nice wood on this side, so I'll just put a couple scuffs on the sides of the sign. It's not quite a sandwich board. And I'm going to try to be fancy. So watch out. Oh, there, got some of it off all over my fingers. I'm sure that's not super toxic. Okay, got the glue placed. Cleaned my pin a little bit. Flip this over and smack it on there. Line it up and put a little pressure on it just to convince the various particles to be friends. And hopefully without destroying it, put this G22 piece, which is very small, in the back. There's a slot here at the top and bottom that goes to. And that actually went in there very nicely. Just like that. And we've got the Shall I Make Some Coffee For You sign complete. Step 90. Moving on to step 91. Need a bunch of pieces from B. What's up from A? We just got A7. Interesting. But B's got lots of pieces left. B62 is the base for this whole thing. B62 is here on the middle right-hand side. Sorry, I've got some of that glue on my finger. B62. I set B aside like it's going anywhere. B36 is a book or some other similar thing. Tray, maybe? B36. Oh, here it is, over on the left-hand side, middle, B36. I need B70 and B74. B70 is down here bottom right, is a pitcher. And B74 is here, the cup, with a very long pin on it. It's going to be used to hold B36 in place on the piece. Now, if you look at this, there's two holes cut in it. That are at angles. It looks like we want the one that's further away to be on this left-hand side, and that's where this will go with the cup. So I'm going to put this through here first. And watch the paint come off of it, of course. Get on there, you. There we go. Okay. So that's in there, and then we'll put this all the way through on that left-hand side. Oh, and this one really wants a hammer. Okay, that is more or less in. And then the pitcher goes in the other hole here, like so. I said like so. Can't believe it's ignoring my like so. Do be careful with the pitcher. It's very small. At least in this set, the paint on B seems to want to come off. So there we go. Step 91 is complete. Set that up there. I'm just noticing that my frame shifted a little. So we'll set that back into place. So there, it's better. Shall I make some coffee for you? So formal, my goodness. Okay, step 92. We need more pieces off of B. B21, B37, and A7. So B21 is here, middle right. B37 is over here by one of the cats. Very small piece. Be careful popping it out. There are some detailed cuts on it. And then I need a piece from A, which may be the last piece from A. A7. A7's right here. Is that in fact the last piece? It is. Okay. Put A over here. Don't worry. If we need it back, I can get it. So, this piece has a very long piece on one side. So that looks like it needs to go on the right-hand side. The basket goes here, which is A7. really does not want to go. There we go. And then this very small thing is going to go here. I'm going to test, look at that, I pushed that so hard. Sort of test fit that and discover immediately that it doesn't want to go. And because it is so small, there's not a lot of room to grab it. I'm going to go ahead and sand down the sides here a little to at least help get it, hopefully help get it started. And if I had a time machine, I would do this piece first, just because this piece is kind of in the way for getting it lined up and such. But so it goes. Okay, really? I mean, there is not much purchase to be found on this piece for pressing. And get a little bit more violent with it. If there are children in the room, cover their eyes. There we go. Probably slide in and immediately fall out. No worries about that. It doesn't want to go in. This really doesn't want to happen. Let's see. What can I do here? So interesting that came through so far. Okay. I thought I had it started, but I was wrong. Oh, maybe I was right. Oh, that was scary. Oh, it did damage it just a little bit. Probably see there. If the camera can focus on it. No, it doesn't want to. There we go. Actually, it doesn't look too shabby. I can live with that small amount of damage. Not even... Oh, I see. It knocked the paint off the top. Yeah, I was pressing there with my fingernail and clearly should not have been. But now that that's already damaged, I'm going to go wild on it, and that did get the piece in at least, and so there we go. Step 93 is complete. Okay, step 94 looks like we're going to use... Oh, sorry. That was 92 that was complete. Got ahead of myself. Step 93. We need B13 and B14, and then these two parts to build a cart. Or at least part of a cart. This is B13 and 14. B13 and 14 are here, top right. Top right. And lots of little pieces, so caution. You should be careful taking any piece out, but if there are tiny protrusions, it does seem to be more likely to have a problem. All right, move the whole thing. So there's that. One side of it. We'll pop out B14. Almost out. There we go. B14. Okay, and it looks like the piece we just did in step 92 with the larger bits goes on the bottom. These two slots and these two pins are about to become best friends. There we go. Probably should have started with the top one. Same deal here, slots and pins, and I'm doing one side first, and then I'll put the other side on. And of course this long pin here means I can't press this into the table without risk of breaking it, so oh well. Sometimes that's just how things go. Okay, got that in. Now we'll see if we can get the other side to line up and do wonderful, wonderful things. You know, I feel like I did that backwards, at least with respect to the bottom piece, because the wheels are here, and I assume that other wheels are going to go on those longer pins. So let's reverse that. Didn't really need to reverse the top one because it's printed on both sides. although now I have deviated from the instructions slightly. So feel free to report me to the company that made this, out me as a wild-eyed renegade who does whatever he wants instead of following directions. And there we go. Now, step 93 is truly complete. For step 94, we're going to go find B15 and B20, which are wheels. They're both in the upper right. Try to apply your pressure uniformly across the surface of the wheel, as it does look like it's a bit fragile. You want the pin to end up pointing down, because I assume we're going to use that to put this in onto the surface of the model. There we go, that's one. Be really careful though. Like that went on fine. No real issue. All right, step 94 is complete. We've got a lovely little cart with some goodies on it. Okay, step 95, we are right back to B. We want B27 and B60. B27 is here in the middle. B60 is close by, right-hand side middle. And this just goes on here, like so. That noise. My goodness. And as is often the case with that noise, that means some of the paint did come off the pin, but that's okay. Step 95 is now complete. We are coming to the rear end of this thing, for sure. All right, step 96 needs a bunch of pieces from B. Well, I'm looking at some of these and I'm like, this is C. Everything's gone off of it. This is D. Not everything is gone off of it. Same with E. Okay. So we want to start with B23, which is this stripy piece. I do like the stripes. We want B68, which is down here in the bottom right. Stripy, stripy. We want B35 and B55, which appear to be structural. B35 is over here on the middle left. B55 is near the center. And then finally B28, which is right above, whoops, B55. Is the bottom of the plant. Oh, and it's going to use the plant we built in the previous step, this guy here. So it looks like these side pieces here, they've got a hole in the center. They'll go, they'll accept the pins that are on the piece there. And then these sides want to go on this pin interlocking with this notch with the two pins on the side going down. The same here. And then B28 goes on the bottom. You want the brown part to be outside. And so we'll assemble this a lot like there was a similar piece we did earlier where I sort of left this almost hinged while we negotiate with this piece to get it on these three pins. I'm focusing first on that center pin, I think. And then I immediately don't do that. I focus on a different pin. I just sort of try to line that all up. Set it on the table here so I can put a little pressure on it. I want to actually bring that out of the way for now. It immediately gets back in the way. Let's see where I'm not lined up there. Lined up here. Lined up-ish here. Oh, could be way better. There. And then we'll pop that in. And just like that, step 96 is complete. Moving on to step 97, a bench. We need B17 and B18. These are very delicate looking parts that are up here in the top right of B. And I'm going to throw caution to the wind, and then change my mind about throwing caution to the wind, and try to poke these out nicely, because they are very delicate pieces as I just slam them out. So yeah, be careful taking these out, but apparently you don't have to be super careful. There's those. Now I need B45 and B48. B45 and B48 are both here in the bottom left. B45 and B48, and we will now build a bench. Like B45, which is this piece. We want the white bit to go on the bottom, and then this notch will go here with this tab, and then this is the bottom of the bench. This notch interacts with this tab that protrudes upward here from the frame of the bench. Say that with so much. So yeah, I did damage that a little bit. So be very careful with the when doing this. If it's not going, flip it, because I think they're different sizes. Yes. So if it's not fitting, don't do what I did and try to force it. Check and make sure you don't need to flip the seat part around. Yes, don't always do what I do. Wouldn't say never do what I do, because I do like look both ways before I cross the street, and that's a good thing to do. Okay, step 97 is done, but I'm going to leave it right here because I see that for step 98, we're going to take this book that we built way back in the beginning and paste it to the seat. Because I guess someone has left the book there open for all the world to see. And it does, if you had not built the book yet, bound the book, if you had not put the book together yet, there are instructions there. We're referring you back to the instructions for putting the book together way back at the beginning. I think that was the first thing we did. Should have been a warning. Todd, this model is going to be a little different from the other ones. And it is. So I can make these fun, though. You never can be sure what you're getting into. And there we go. Kind of. Well, mine's not at quite the jaunty. There, I jauntied the angle. So there we go. Step 98 is complete, and it looks like now we're just going to simply start assembling things. Although we do have one more book. Ah, well. Oh, the one book was supposed to go under the other book. And it didn't. I can still take it off, though. Yes. We'll set that there. We'll put this book under here. It's often just I wait till the second time to follow the instructions. There! Perfection. We used the books. And we'll set that aside. Okay, now we're moving on to step 99. And it looks like the majority of what is left is going to be simply, assembling things to this. So, we're going to start with the sign. The sign, and then a nice thing they're doing here that I actually haven't seen on other ones is they're showing how it looks afterwards to help with it. So for the sign, this pin here on the end of it is going to go in that. You can't quite see it. This tiny hole here. And I'll just go ahead and do that. And it did go in. I don't know if the microphone picked up the little bit of a snap that there was. But there was a nice snap. Tell us that good things were happening. Let's grab the fountain next. I think, yes, and put it on. The fountain's got a slot and 2 holes. That's going to interlock with these pieces. Be careful that you've got them lined up before you start applying a large amount of force. And remember that all the little pieces of this are sort of slid into place, and there it is. That didn't snap in some great way, but it is in fact on. And now how exciting is this? We need piece B36, and you know what B36 is? It's one of the cats. Is it 36? No, it's a 38. 38 is the orangish cat. Be very careful popping the cat out because it's a cat. You don't want to be incautious with your cats. And B38 is going to go here, in this spot between the sign and the fountain. If I move that back just a bit, I think you might be able to see a little bit better what's going on. So there we go. The cat is in place, enjoying the fountain. And of course, it's a cat, so it's right in the middle of the path. So next, we've got some of the things that we've built. We've got the cart. We've got the bench with the books. And we've got the planter. Can't see, I covered everything. Yes, the planter. Those are going to go on now. So what goes where? Great question. Let's see. Oh, we also need the other cat B, which is B79. It's here in the bottom left. This is a somewhat more playful cat. It is probably not going to be lying in the way like the other one. Okay, so looking at this picture of where things are, it looks like this planter is all the way in the back. So I'm thinking it should go on first. Just because it would be hard to get to afterwards. So there are 4 holes here that these 4 tabs on the bottom of the planter are going to go meet. And there we go. We've got a planter. Okay. Then we've also got the bench. The bench has 4 bits here. There are, I'm not sure how super visible they are. Let me rearrange things just a bit. Holes here that the bench is going to go into. And again, with the bench, do be careful. I say be careful. Don't apply a ton of force because it's very spindly and light. But what I'm noticing is the holes for the bench are a little far apart. So once you get it in, it's almost like there's a spring tension holding it in now. So yay, excellent. Now I think the cat is going to go right here in this hole, playfully pawing at the book. And that worked out great. There's the kitty, playing with the books, right there. Okay, and finally the cart. The cart has these 2 pins on the front wheels. They're going to go into these 2 holes, as if it's going to possibly run over the other cat that's in the path. And so there we go. We've got quite the scene set. We've got the cat here. Let me move this up like this. The cat playing with the books. We've got the bench, the planter, the cart. This cat laying here, enjoying some sun, taking in the fountain, and the sign here that says, "Shall I make some coffee for you?" So excellent. We've done all those glorious things. Moving on to step 101. I'm going to set that there, move that here a bit, and get a bunch of pieces from B that are going to be put together in what appears to be a complicated way. So we'll get right into it. Oh, we're building 2 of these. All right, so I need 2 of B3. Look at that. 1, 2. There's 2 B3s. 2 B6s, which happen to be right next to the B3s. I need 2 B10s, but I actually need 4 of them. I need 1 on each side. Look at that. There are 4 right there. Do be careful taking these out. They seem fragile. I think the blunt end of the tweezers is the right tool there. So there's those 4, and then 2 of B4, and B4 happens to be right there. And oh my goodness, that is it for B. Way cool. Oh, it didn't want to come out, but it's coming out. There we go. And one more check. Looks all clear. Onto the pile. Okay, so we're going to build a bunch of these things. A B3. Okay. So I'm orienting this the same way. The B3 goes in the top. Snugly. B6 goes in the side. And then what goes on with these B2s? Oh, or B10s rather. A B10 goes in the top on one side. There's 2 pins left on here, and there's a pin on the side of each B10. That goes there. One of them goes in the top. And the other one goes in the bottom, flipped the other way, so that you end up with an even piece. It's an interesting way to accomplish that. It's actually kind of clever. Of course, the last one doesn't want to go in. Why would it? There. So that is the completed subassembly. We will do this a second time because it was so enjoyable the first time. That was the B3. Here's the B6 right in the side. And these are nice and snug. And the 2 B10s, one pointed down, the other pointed up, so that we get an even looking. I really want to say this is going to be like a fence post, because I'm noticing there's a bunch of fence coming up, and the fence is generally blue. A blue picket fence. So there we go. We have completed step 101 and produced 2 of what it is now referring to as N5. We'll set that there. Okay, step 102. We need an E12, a C4, and an E14. That's D. Where's C? I got rid of C. And I shouldn't have. Why did I get rid of C? I shouldn't have got rid of A either. Oh my goodness. Hold on. This is out of control. A. Alright, B's done. C was almost done. Oh, chaos. C4 is in the top right of C. And it is the last piece. I think. But it definitely could use a little assistance coming out. Sorry, I put the little pushing tool that came with it down, and so it has disappeared. So there is C4. C is truly done. Grab E14. E14 is here on the bottom right of E. Let's see if I can pop this guy out, because it's got lots of little pieces. Lots of little spindly bits and bobs. There we go. That is E14, C14, and we're going to paste a large potted plant. So there we go. We've got our large potted plant ready to paste. There. Okay, so we are on this side of the model now. Because here's the bench is here. And it looks like E12 is the smaller one. Now, if you look carefully at these, you'll see that there's protruding pins at the bottom. And so E12 oh, I missed a piece. So this is E12, I think. Was that C? That was C4. Oh my goodness. It's all falling apart. There we go. E12 is here, and it's neat because it's fancy. It's extra fancy. It's got a slope to it. Is that it for E? Is that truly it for E? That is truly it for E. Running out of parts now, so that's fun. Okay, so this is going to go, and I'm actually gonna pull the whole thing here. Ah, we're building a gate. Got it. So these are parts of the gate. These guys go where? So that means this is probably going to go through there. So the end of the, well, not that. This leg will have a hole here, and then this pin will go into that hole. So this guy, which has a fairly wide slot on the bottom, is going to end up here. And it's very, I will note that it is quite loose. And so the gate rises into the middle. So we'll put this under through here, and then we're gonna pick that up anyway. Put that in there, that there, that there, and put it in, and there we've got a semi-functional gate. We'll set that aside because we don't need it just yet. Ooh, where is the potted plant going to end up? It'll be easier to see on this. And I was wrong. I can't tell at all where the potted plant goes. This is the large potted plant. Wait a minute, they're all large. It says all three of them are large at this point, but this one is clearly larger than the others. Ah, the chaos. Okay. Large, I'm going to put the medium potted plant somewhere. Sorry, I'm just trying to look on the drawing and see where it is. I was looking at the wrong one. Ah. I'll jam my glasses into the camera. It's going to more or less go here behind the fence post, which will make it interesting. I'm going to put it there because I don't want to make it hard for people to get to the bench. Also, people will probably put their feet up on the plant. That's not acceptable. We'll gloop some glue on here. And put it there. Just like that, and let it cure. Okay. Close that. Close the glue back up. Okay, set that in there. Now we've got these other two pieces. One is long and one is short. They appear to be even. The shorter one, or shorter. There's two pins here that it's going to, two slots here that the pins will go in. Be cautious applying pressure on this one because it definitely, oh, actually that just went right in. No trouble at all. And then this one, the longer one, you'll notice the protruding pins are not at the very end. They go into these two slots here. And this is where everything doesn't want to work, but there we go. We've got it. Okay, we have completed step 102. Moving on to step 103, it looks like we're going to do some more work here on the front. We've got another large potted plant, which I have decided is going to be a medium potted plant. And it's going to go somewhere. Let's see where they put it. Oh, more or less just right here behind the gate assembly. So we'll put it there in the way of the path. That will make it more exciting for the Santorini Sun Coffee's insurance company, who hopefully will not notice the interesting wiring that went on. I'm actually going to move that back a little. Lovely. Where'd the other one go? While I'm here doing stuff, the big one looks like they want it back here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now so I don't have to mess with the glue again. Look at that, trying to work ahead. So there we go. The large one is there. Okay. Now, hopefully, we are done with this glue. It's not really my favorite type of glue. Okay. So, yeah, this is it. Okay, we're very close here. We need another gate piece. My goodness, poor thing. We need another gate piece. That is D24, which is right here. And it is, in fact, the last thing on D. Off you go, into the pile. We want E17. Which is here. I definitely didn't just have to get that off the pile. Ignore the sounds of someone getting something off the pile that you might have thought you heard. E is now truly done. E. So we've got E17, N5, and D24. These are all going to go together, and as I recall, it was better to set this in the little hole first, then grab this, put it in the slot, and guide it in. So there we go. That is done. This longer bit of fence, E17, will go into these two holes with the pins that are, one is on the outside and one is not. I wonder how that needs to be oriented. I suspect it's this way because this is very close to the fence post, or the gate post. I guess it's the fence post. The gatey fence posty. There we go. Okay, and that is complete. And finally, the very last piece, A40, is going to go along here. And oh my goodness, it is literally the last piece. We are almost done. Normally I do try to keep each segment to an hour. That did not work out this time, as this was didn't seem like there was a full hour of work left. And just lining the pins up. Two of the pins are closer together, so just be sure you're observing that as you put them in. And this is a long enough piece that you don't have to try to get all of them to go in at exactly the same time. You can, some flexibility in the piece. And there we have it. The Santorini Sun Coffee is complete and more or less looks like the picture. Take a quick look. I'll turn the light on. And in a moment, I'll get some other pictures with the larger lights off. But there we go. That is the coffee shop. Got all the shelves on the inside that definitely are not falling over because of shoddy wiring. The pieces on the back, the outer pieces, and the model is, in fact, at this time, complete. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. If you want to be notified when I post new videos, subscribe and set the notification thing. And I thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you watching, and have fun. Go grab one of these kits. Just watch out for the glue.